paper by Richard Reeves and another colleague of mine, Eleanor Krauss, that was released today. The evidence is that rural areas with the best rates of upward mobility are the ones with the highest rates of out-migration, especially among young people. Should we just accept that some communities are essentially dying and focus our efforts on helping people move on to other places with more opportunity? Or should we be trying to turn around these blighted areas?
That is a really tough one. So I'm going to try to judiciously split the baby here, and I'll probably fail. But when I think about should we try to fix these blighted areas, I think that it depends on how we define area, right? Because my concern with some of these out-migration arguments is that we say, if you can't find a good job in West Virginia, you should move to San Francisco, California. And there are two concerns with that. The first is that try to convince somebody that they can afford a place in San Francisco, California, when it's a two-bedroom apartment costs you $4,500 a month. So I think that, again, going back to housing policy, that really makes this out-migration pretty difficult. The second thing is that you really do I think we have to understand there's a difference between out-migration from, let's say, eastern Kentucky to southwestern Ohio versus eastern Kentucky to San Diego, California, because the former allows you to preserve some important social contacts and social connections. It is cheaper to move there. It's less culturally intimidating to move there. I mean, I cannot imagine what my grandparents would have said if you had told them in the 1940s that they had to move to modern-day San Francisco. It really would have been, you need to move to an entirely different country, maybe an entirely different planet. And I think that that's important. So the way that I think about this problem is that we have to accept that while out-migration has to be a part of the solution, we can't just say every single person in Breathitt County, Kentucky has to leave and Breathitt County, Kentucky gets to close up shop. But if we can regionally develop big cities like Lexington, like Pittsburgh, like Columbus, Ohio, that obviously has downstream effects, and that allows you to have out-migration to places that isn't so culturally foreign and enables people to maintain those social connections even as they move to areas with higher employment and, oh, by the way, still play a positive role in the communities back home. I think that's the way that I approach that particular problem.